And other big technology names are investing in a robot startup group called Figure AI that develops human-like robots. Bezos has already committed $100 million through his firm Explore Investments, and Microsoft is investing $95 million, while Nvidia and Amazon affiliated funds are providing $50 million. Bloomberg has reported that they're raising about $675 million in funding rounds that carry a pre-money valuation of about $2 billion. Investments in AI startups have sparked after the launch of OpenAI, and investors are sensing an opportunity, betting that these startups might outpace their rivals. In crypto news, BlackRock's Bitcoin exchange-traded fund records an all-time high of $1.3 billion in single-day volume. Bitcoin reached nearly 55,000 today on the announcement, and Ethereum at 3,173. For more tech news, visit allthetoptech.tech. I'm Chuck Palm.
This is America in the Morning. Robert Workman Sports is sponsored by Untuckit. Shop online at untuckit.com or at our 80-plus stores for the perfect fitting untucked shirt. Untuckit.
For the first time this basketball season, the Houston Cougars are number one, grabbing 53 of 62 first-place votes from the writers and 25 of 32 from the coaches. Connecticut's 6-week reign at the top ends, the Huskies falling to second in the coaches' survey, third in the AP, separated from Purdue by just a point in each. Last night, number 9 North Carolina edged Miami. Senior R.J. Davis set a Smith Center record with 42 points, 21 in each half for the Tar Heels. NBA, the Knicks nipped the Pistons 113-111 on Josh Hart's layup with 3 seconds left.
That just sums up our team, sums up our city, man. We grind, we fight, we scratch, we claw, and we find a way.
Jalen Brunson led New York with 35 points. He held off the Kings for their 4th win in a row. 28 for Bam Adebayo. Sacramento's Domantas Sabonis notched his league-leading 20th triple-double. Raptors topped the Pacers, Toronto 3-0 since the All-Star break, and the Nets ripped the Grizzlies, giving interim coach Kevin Ollie his first NBA victory. Soccer, the U.S. women lost to Mexico 2-0 to wrap up Group A play at the CONCACAF W Gold Cup, the first goals the American women have allowed in the tournament, and the first by Mexico versus the U.S. in 14 years. Both teams advanced to the quarterfinals this weekend. NHL, the Capitals doubled up the Senators 6-3, taking control with 2 goals in 14 seconds late in the first period. Hendrix Lapierre scored twice.
I had a blast playing with these guys tonight, and I'll take the couple bounces and the goals, and I thought it was a great effort from everyone. It's fun to see guys up and down the lineup contributing. So, I feel like there's an energy right now that's special in this room, and guys are focused, so it's great.
Oilers scored twice in the third to usurp the Kings. Islanders shaded the Stars in overtime, and the Kraken nipped the Bruins in a shootout. That's Tuesday Sports.
Thank you, sir. Now 7 till. When we return on America in the Morning, trial proceeds for Alec Baldwin and how a Christmas tree was a woman's undoing. After these messages.
COVID-19 has cast a spotlight on the stark inequalities that drive poverty. The poorest communities in the U.S. and around the world are suffering the most. Oxfam believes we can put systems in place to protect health and livelihoods in the future if we work together with dignity and compassion. Learn how you can help offer safety to the most vulnerable and fight for a more resilient future at oxfamamerica.org. Sponsored by Oxfam America.
Is switching your wireless service to Total by Verizon easy? Totalmente. And you get unlimited 5G data, $25 a line for 4 lines on the unlimited plan, at an amazing price with no contracts. Should you switch to Total by Verizon? Definitely. Totalmente. Find a store or switch suavemente at totalbyverizon.com. Monthly rate when you activate the letter fee. Plus tax and discount begins a month after you enroll. Additional terms apply. See website for data management practices.
Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 million protection package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you the limits of your plan. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% in your first year with promo code PLAY.
EasyCater presents We Got Your Back, Upsingers.
So I ordered food on EasyCater for a meeting with a new client in Jackson. On my way to the airport, it hits me. The client is actually in Jacksonville. So I call EasyCater. Nina picks up right away. She called me right back and said you're all set.
Jackson, EasyCater has your back with 24/7 support. Order at easycater.com and go.
You don't have to miss a second of your favorite talk show at home or at work. Listen on your smart speaker, on your Alexa or Google smart home device. News Radio 1440.
Back now at 5 till. This is America in the Morning. A trial date's been set for actor Alec Baldwin for charges connected to the shooting on the set of the movie Rust. Correspondent Margie Zaraletta is following proceedings.
A judge in Santa Fe, New Mexico has called for jury selection to begin July 9th for Alec Baldwin's trial, with opening statements the next day. The trial is expected to last 8 days. In 2021, Baldwin was pointing a gun at cinematographer Helena Hutchins during a rehearsal for the movie Rust when the gun went off, killing Hutchins and wounding director Joel Souza. The weapons supervisor on the movie, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, is currently on trial for involuntary manslaughter. The proceedings of that trial hold implications for Baldwin. He faces up to 18 months in prison if convicted. I'm Archie Zaraletta.
Kevin Costner has dropped a new trailer for his upcoming epic Western series. Kevin Carr has details.
Kevin Costner is looking to redefine Westerns again with his upcoming theatrical series, Horizon, an American Saga.
I'm Kevin Costner, and wanted to invite you to see Horizon, the American Saga trailer. It's something I've been thinking about for a long time.
Costner debuted his trailer for the first installment of the series on Monday.
You and I are standing guard on one of the last great open spaces.
4 films are planned, with the first part coming to theaters on June 28th. The second part will hit just 2 months later on August 16th. Parts 3 and 4 have not yet begun production.
There's no army off this earth can stop those wagons coming.
The Oscar-winning filmmaker has been working on the project for more than 6 years. After failing to get a single film made, he broke the story into 4 parts.
All I'm trying to do is get as many of us as I can, as far as I can.
Horizon tells the story of post-Civil War America as settlers expanded westward. It includes multiple aspects of the country's history, including tensions among settlers, their government, and the indigenous people already on the land.
Haven't had much need of it yet.
In recent years, Costner has become best known for another Western saga, Yellowstone. However, the filmmaker's commitment to his Horizon project has cast doubts on his involvement in the second half of the hit TV series' final season, set to debut later this year. Horizon, an American Saga stars Costner, Sienna Miller, Danny Houston, and Sam Worthington. I'm Kevin Carr.
A woman in Ireland lost a court case because of a Christmas tree. A 36-year-old woman had claimed that a car accident in 2017 left her with debilitating pain and unable to lift anything heavy, even forcing her to stay in bed for days due to her claims of back, neck, and spine injuries, and, as she said, unable to lift groceries or even play with the kids. She took her insurance company to court, suing for $820,000. Before the judge could rule, a picture of the woman showed up in a local newspaper, and in that photo, she was seen taking part in the annual Christmas tree toss competition, where contestants hurl their holiday tree as far as they can throw it. The good news for Kamala Gradska, she was strong enough to win the old lumberjack competition in the town of Ennis. The bad news, that picture and one showing her play wrestling with a Dalmatian dog allowed the judge to dismiss her case. No word on whether the judge mumbled under his breath, "Merry Christmas," before the gavel fell. America in the Morning for Tuesday, February 27th, 2024, is produced by Jeff McKay. Senior producer, Kevin Delaney. I'm John Trout. This is Westwood One.
He just can't be trusted. Despite the invasion at our border, with deadly drugs and dangerous criminals pouring in, Barry Moore voted with every single Democrat in Congress against finishing Trump's wall. With Barry Moore's vote, the liberals blocked the bill to secure our border and stop the invasion of illegals. Defunding Trump's border wall, Barry Moore betrayed conservatives. Turns out, Barry Moore didn't even want to start Trump's wall and bragged that he would have voted against it. Then, Moore was the only Alabama Republican to vote no on forcing Biden to finish Trump's wall. Donald Trump needs someone to help him, and so do we. But Barry Moore simply cannot be trusted. Deceiving conservatives again. Barry Moore
Get a different take on the day's top stories. A lot of it. So breaking the record today, it will be windy, dry, and will stay mostly cloudy. There will be some sun this afternoon, but it will likely stay mostly cloudy. Now, tonight's another warm night. Still yellow WIA and 95.1 HD3 FM for Montgomery.
A Cumulus Media Station.
It won't rain a lot tomorrow.
It's the CBS News World News Roundup, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Primary voting is underway in a key battleground state.
It's great to be here in Michigan.
Haley soldiering on despite predictions Donald Trump will cruise to victory among Republicans today. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe is in Detroit, where he asked the underdog if he ends up being the nominee. You support him?
I'm fighting to make sure he's not the nominee.
President Biden is up against a protest vote in Michigan over his response to the war in Gaza. Muslim Americans there are being urged to vote uncommitted. Mahmoud Walid heads the state chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations.
This community overwhelmingly voted for Mr. Biden 4 years ago. Many people feel betrayed by the administration, in particular, in its continuing to support and arm Israeli government.
Israeli government officials are pushing back against comments Mr. Biden made last night when he told NBC's Seth Meyers a ceasefire in Gaza could be in place ahead of the holy month of Ramadan. Spokesperson Tal Heinrich clarifies.
We said that we will not agree to pull out IDF forces entirely from the Gaza Strip, nor will we agree to the release of thousands of Palestinian terrorists.
A Hamas official says the group will not soften its demands. Strong reaction after French President Macron leaves the door open for sending ground troops into Ukraine to fight the war against Russia. Correspondent Kathy McCormick reports.
The French president said nothing can be excluded in preventing Russia from winning the war, but there has been no consensus among NATO leaders. Germany's chancellor has rejected outright the idea of European or NATO countries sending troops to Ukraine, and the NATO Secretary General said the alliance has no plans to do so. That could set off a conflict between Russia and the U.S. and its allies.
There's a new lawsuit aimed at blocking the merger of two supermarket giants. CBS's Jolene Kent.
The FTC argued that the merger of Kroger and Albertsons would be bad for competition, lowering worker wages at the grocery store and driving up the cost of food, which has soared since the pandemic.
And the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety's top picks for 2024, Genesis, Hyundais, and Kias. IIHS President David Harkey.
We've done a really good job at getting the automakers to improve their front crash prevention systems, both for vehicle-to-vehicle and for vehicle-to-pedestrian. They're really making good strides in that area.
Mazda earned 5 awards, the most of any individual brand. Mid-sized luxury SUVs for tops in class. S&P futures up 9. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This statement is not been evaluated by the FDA. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of active liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com, or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to new, NORDICUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New year, new you, New Nordic.
The Family Dollar Store chain has agreed to pay an almost $42 million fine.
The company agreed to the fine after pleading guilty to shipping products from a filthy, rat-infested distribution center in Arkansas. The Department of Justice says the chain knew the warehouse was overrun with rats and chose to ship food, drugs, cosmetics, and medical devices from there anyway to more than 400 Family Dollar stores in Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, and Tennessee. An FDA inspection found live and decaying rodents, feces, urine, and evidence of gnawing and nesting in the warehouse after years of complaints. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
In the UK, a proof copy of the first Harry Potter novel, The Philosopher's Stone, has sold at auction for almost $14,000. It was purchased from a secondhand bookshop in South London almost 30 years ago for 50 cents. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Matt Larson here with Budget Car and Truck Sales Montgomery and Prattville. We've moved all our inventory to the Montgomery location with this huge event. One-stop shopping with no waiting. Selling your car, buyers on site. Most offers way over Seller Blue Book. Banks and loan officers with rates from 1.9 and terms up to 84 months. All in one giant location. It's dime time. Dime time's the right time for you to buy a nicer newer car you deserve. That's right, once in dime. Keep the jingle in your pocket with Dime Time. For this event, Budget's teamed up with Capital One. If you received an invitation for this event, you're approved. Getting approved is fast, simple, and easy with banks that want to say yes. With even bigger news, the Capital One event has now been open to the public with no impact to your credit. 100% credit approval is our goal. So if you got a dime and some time, Dime Time could be right for you. BudgetSaysYes.com. That's BudgetSaysYes.com. One giant location, 61 Mendell Parkway, just off Atlanta Highway, next to Fraser Church in Montgomery. Call 334-244-9777. Dime Time.
Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you the limits of your plan. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with promo code PLAY.
EasyCater presents We've Got Your Back, Upsingers.
So I ordered food on EasyCater for a meeting with a new client in Jackson. On my way to the airport, it hits me. The client is actually in Jacksonville. So I call EasyCater. Nina picks up right away. She called me right back and said you're all set.
Jackson, EasyCater has your back with 24/7 support. Order at EasyCater.com and know. We got your back.
Everyone that eats 3 meals a day is participating in agriculture whether they know it or not. I'm Chef Morrison. I've been farming all my life. Caroline Dobson cares about farmers like us. We need somebody in Washington that understands us and understands what's happening, why it's happening. Caroline Dobson is the best candidate in this race. Caroline's tough. She's a fighter. The Biden administration is not about rural America. The labor costs and fuel costs are just strangling small business. Joe Biden is out of touch. The farmer didn't vote for him, and he doesn't care about him. We need people like Caroline in Washington, D.C. to give people confidence to move forward. Caroline Dobson is a fifth-generation farmer. She's got grit, she's got country values, and she's got what it takes. Nobody's going to dig their heels in and fight for us like Caroline Dobson.
On March 5th, vote for Farmpack endorse Caroline Dobson for Congress.
I'm Caroline Dobson.
With just a couple of clicks on Amazon, your items come to your door in a day or two. With just a simple phrase to your Alexa smart speaker, your favorite talk shows come to your speaker in seconds. Alexa, play News Radio 1440.
And good morning, everybody. Hope this day finds everybody feeling good this morning like me. It's a great day to be on top of the ground. And of course, the ground's not on top of you. Before we get started, though, I got to give you a message. I got to give you a message here because we need to have a talk. That's right. Let's have a serious talk. And it's about a killer, and its name is fentanyl. Did you know that more than 1,400 Alabamians died in 2021 from drug overdoses? It's time to have a conversation about substance abuse. Hope is real. Recovery is real. So if you or your family or a friend are suffering from substance use disorder, please call the Council on Substance Abuse or COSA right now. 334-262-1629. That's 334-262-1629. Or go to COSANCADD.org. Let's get some help right now. That number again is 334-262-1629, and get the help you need now, because whether you know it or not, it affects more than you. It affects everything you do, the way you think, and all the loved ones in your lives. So the Council on Substance Abuse, you need to make that call. That call is 334-262-1629, because help is out there. All you have to do is ask for it. Okay? That's all you got to do. Yeah, good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine. Let me see. Let me take this. Well, no. I got to do our daily bread this morning. Our daily bread. That's what we do first thing every morning, because it's important. So it's time to rise and shine, people in Montgomery. The sun's up. Now it's time for you to get up. It's a beautiful day outside this morning. It's time for our daily bread. Today's daily bread is simply entitled When Jesus Stops. It is February the 27th, 2024. Our scriptural insight today comes from Luke 18:35 through 43. Luke 18:40 reads, Jesus stopped and ordered the man to be brought to him. Govern yourselves accordingly. And again, good morning to you. It is February the 27th. It is a day that has never been before, and it is a day that will never, ever come again. It is a once-in-a-lifetime deal, and once it's gone, you don't get a do-over, you don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and do all the things that you didn't do today that you should have. And more importantly, you don't get a chance to come back and undo the things that you do. So whatever it is that you do with this day, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done. And the first thing out of your mouth this morning should be thank you, Lord, for this day, because this day was not promised. You should be more enthusiastic about this day than any day you have ever seen in your life. Because this one, none of us was 100% sure about. If you've been around a while, you've heard many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace, mercy, charity, and love of God, we may, I'm not sure, we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day. That is the first day of the rest of our lives. What are we going to do with them? Well, do what you can, while you can, when you can, for whom you can, for as long as you can. Always, always look for an opportunity to give a helping hand. Bishop Elijah May said, whatever we do in life, we should do it so well that no man living, no man dead, no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say that is the standard by which you live life. You'll always be successful. Oh, you'll fail everything that we all do. But you'll never be a failure until you quit. We say, rest if you can. Give out if you must. But never quit. Never, ever, ever give up. Martin Luther King said, if you cannot run, walk. And if you cannot walk, crawl. But whatever you do, whatever it is, keep moving forward. Don't ever give up. Don't ever quit. Because quitters will never win. Never, ever win. And while we may fail a time or two, because we all do, you will never be a failure until you quit. We say, give out if you must. Rest if you can, but never give up. Never, ever give up. Because quitters don't win. And winners may lose a time or two, but they never give up. So if you need some encouragement this morning, Those are the words of encouragement. Keep moving forward. Don't ever stop. Don't ever quit, because quitters will never win. While winners may lose the thing or two, they never quit. And no matter what happens this day, on this day, this right here, this is what we're in right now, February the 27th, remember, it is a great day, always, to be alive. We'll be back. Good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine, Montgomery.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Our reading titled, When Jesus Stops, was written by Karen Huang. For days, the sickly cat cried, huddled in a box near my workplace. Abandoned on the street, the feline went unnoticed by many who passed by it, until June came along. The street sweeper carried the animal home, where he lived with 2 dogs, which were former strays. I care for them because they're the creatures no one notices, June said. I see myself in them. No one notices a street sweeper, after all. In Luke chapter 18, as Jesus walked toward Jericho on his way to Jerusalem, a blind man sat begging by the roadside. He felt unnoticed too. And on this day especially, when a crowd was passing through and all eyes were focused on Christ, no one stopped to help the beggar. No one except Jesus. In the midst of the clamoring crowd, he heard the forgotten man's cry. What do you want me to do for you? Christ asked, and he received the heartfelt reply, Lord, I want to see. Then Jesus said, receive your sight. Your faith has healed you. Do we feel unnoticed at times? Are our cries drowned out by people who seem to matter more than us? Our Savior notices those the world doesn't care to notice. Call to Him for help. While others may pass us by, He'll stop for us. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Luke chapter 18, verses 35 through 43. As Jesus approached Jericho, a blind man was sitting by the roadside begging. When he heard the crowd going by, he asked what was happening. They told him, Jesus of Nazareth is passing by. He called out, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Those who led the way rebuked him and told him to be quiet. But he shouted all the more, Son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus stopped and ordered the man to be brought to him. When he came near, Jesus asked him, What do you want me to do for you? Lord, I want to see, he replied. Jesus said to him, Receive your sight. Your faith has healed you. Immediately, he received his sight and followed Jesus, praising God. When all the people saw it, they also praised God. Let's pray. Dear Jesus, thank you for hearing us when we call to you. Just like the blind man who received his sight, help us to follow and praise you all our lives. It's in your name that we pray. Amen. Thanks for listening today. My name is Rochelle Traub, and today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
And we will come back right after these messages. And I do got a guest. I got somebody coming up at 7:30. Somebody. Coley? Derek? Eric? Yeah. Anyway, he'll be here. Cedric? Anyway, he'll be here. We'll be back right after these messages.
FA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440. Sponsored by Staples Stores. Now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs, desk chairs, computer chairs, even gaming chairs. In store only, offer ends 3-2. See associates for details. Stop by Staples today.
And grab a seat. The warmest day of the year so far will occur today as temperatures get up into the lower 80s. It will be windy though, so keep that in mind. It will also be on the cloudier side. We'll say mostly cloudy skies today. There will be some sunshine this afternoon though. The official high temperature forecast 82. It's dry. Tonight we're down into the 60s. It's also a dry, cloudy night. We'll have a line of showers come through tomorrow afternoon. Behind that, temperatures will drop. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seagreen for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Sons Automotive, family owned, family driven on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now we're looking good. Your 7 o'clock hour kicks off with no major problems or accidents. Interstate system's moving smoothly into and through the Tri-County area. You keep listening, and we'll keep you posted with the latest and the most accurate traffic conditions on the radio. The new Toyotas and Nissans are rolling in at McKinnon Toyota Nissan. Never pay over sticker. You'll be grinning with McKinnon. Exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay. Good morning, I'm Chad Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Tuesday. A longtime Montgomery County judge is still fighting for his life. Police say Judge Johnny Hardman was stabbed several times and shot by his son in his home Saturday.
Wow.
After the attacks, his son, Bonnie Hardman, drove off and abandoned the truck just down the road. Now charged with domestic violence and illegal possession of a firearm. An explosive device was found outside the Alabama Attorney General's office. It happened early Saturday morning. It was detonated later that morning. No damage or injuries reported. Police say no anything. Call 911. This weekend, a new storm shelter in Lee County will be dedicated to the victims of the 2019 Lee County tornado. That EF4 tornado claimed 23 lives. The shelter now holds over 30 people and is located at the Beauregard Fire Station. Number 4 cost more than $45,000, paid for by the Community Foundation of East Alabama. That's your news on this Tuesday.
Alabama shaped Democrat Shamari Figueres' life. Shamari's father, civil rights icon Michael Figueres, who bankrupted the Klan and committed his life to racial justice. Shamari's mother fought for us in the Alabama State Senate. Shamari Figueres brought our values to the White House, serving as a top aide to President Barack Obama. Now, Shamari Figueres is running for Congress to represent Alabama. He will work every day for better, more affordable health care. And as a husband and father of 3 young kids, Shamari Figueres will make better education a priority from day one. With our voting rights and freedoms on the line, Shamari will never stop fighting for us. On or before March 5th, vote for Alabama's own Democrat Shamari Figueres for Congress. Protect Progress paid for and is responsible for the content of this ad. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.protectprogress.com.
I'm Aaron Chip. I've been blessed to be able to make a living at what I love, making music for more than 25 years. But it didn't get there overnight. There were a lot of long days and nights of working just to make ends meet. Good things in life don't always come easy, but when you sweat for what you want, it makes it even sweeter when you get it. So remember to work hard, and when the opportunities present themselves, you got to be ready to grab them. This message is brought to you by the United States Air Force.
My muscle hurts. I was tired all the time.
My son had a full-blown asthma attack. He came out of nowhere.
The unsettling thing about some symptoms is
I had a fever and this terrible headache.
you don't always know what's causing it.
It was Lyme disease from a tick bite.
I had West Nile virus from a mosquito. He had a reaction to cockroach allergen.
Threats to your health can come from unexpected places. Get the facts. Visit Kevin.
Hi, I'm Martin.
Even your heart failure won't want to remain strong. Because without him, you lose courage. Together, we will rise to trust.
Alexa Smart Speaker. You don't have to turn it on. Listen to News Radio 1440. Just say, Alexa, play News Radio 1440.
I'm on it.
You're good to go.
All right. Hey, before we get started, before my guest gets here this morning, the Montgomery Advertiser actually has a little project they're doing in the last couple of weeks that I've always meant to mention this, but I just never did. because my mind ain't right some mornings. That's what it is. So when you get old, things happen to you. That's bad. Anyway, and the Montgomery Advertiser has this contest, I think, with kids in school, and there's a number of kids in because everybody always talking about I'm dogging public schools. Um, a number of of calls. Well, a number of kids who've been nominated as students of the week here in Montgomery. Hey, and I just think that it's let's give them some props and mention them on the air because that's good. I knew there were some good students over there someplace. Anyway, yesterday was another Monday means a round of nominees for the Montgomery Advertiser Student of the Week, and these are your students of the week. Now, the honor recognizes the accomplishments of local high schoolers whom their teachers describe as high-achieving leaders and positive role models in their schools. School administrators and high school teachers from across the river region sent in a nomination for their top students, and readers will get to pick the best of the best in their poll, which I think from February the 26th until this Thursday, the 29th. Okay. So, the new nominees will be, I think it comes out on Monday, whenever it is. And I'm going to try to read them as long as I remember that they are there. But I will. No, I'll remember. And of course, now, so to this week's nominees for the Student of the Week. Come on. Okay, good. Isabella Dennison, School, Booker T. Washington Magnet High School. She's a visual arts senior. Isabella is described as an exceptional scholar who represents BTW's motto, excellence in all things. Boy, don't we wish that was a model for everybody. Number 2, Isaiah Stevens from PJ High School, Percy Julian High School. Okay, I better see my boy's name on this one of these days. Anyway, Isaiah Stevens, described as a student leader, entrepreneur, and true servant of the Montgomery community, Isaiah is a leader among other classmates at Percy Julian. He maintains a 4.0 GPA while running his own business called Silent Kicks Apparel. Isaiah sings in the mass choir at the First Baptist Church of Greater Washington Park, served as Student Government Association president for 2 years, and is currently the junior class president. Congratulations to him. Isaiah Stevens, Percy Julian High School. And last but not least, I think I get one. Yeah. Last but not least, gets a lot of people. Now, I wish people would have names that I could actually pronounce. You know what I'm saying? But okay, we'll try not to crucify this name. Okay, because we just can't. Oh, but anyway, okay, here we go. Alincia. A apostrophe Lindsseya. So I'm gonna try this. Alincia McCall Brown, who goes to Sidney Lanier High School. Y'all remember now, I'm from the old school. Y'all got to, give me a nickname or something if you got a name like that, because I don't want to screw the name up and get the wrong person the wrong credit. Okay, so what y'all need to do is when you put these names in the newspaper, put one of those things like they do in the live, like they do in the dictionary, the pronunciation of it. But I think I got this one though. Alincia McCall Brown, described as a fantastic young lady who always focuses on her work and does a really good job. Alincia's teachers say she is a model student. She is a self-starter, always good to be able to do that. Doesn't mind helping other students and never complains. Sound like my son. Sidney Lanier administration said Alincia is a perfect example of a poet pride, and her good grades also is a plus. And those are your students, students of the week or something like that. So now I'm supposed to have a guest come up here, and you can go to Montgomery Advertiser and you can vote for each one. I don't know why there's only 3 in there though, but maybe the other schools don't have their act together, because they don't want anybody to say nice things about their school. Let's put some more kids up there. We got three. We got what 900 people. I mean, what 2,000 people? No, how many kids we got in school in high school? And they got a bunch of them. Anyway, so let's get on the move. You can go to Montgomery Advertiser and you can see where you can put somebody in and you can see who's in for this week. Okay, student of the week. Again, those names one more time are Isabella Dennison from Booker T. Washington Magnet High School, Isaiah Stevens from Percy Julian High School, and Alencia McCall Brown from Sidney Lanier High School. Congratulations, those young people. You know, it's nice to see that kids are doing great things. Because I hear enough about the ones that ain't. Excuse me, my language. I hear enough about the ones who don't do such great things. Okay, most of the time you make the paper in Montgomery Public School to something bad. Yes, we got some good stuff here. Good. Okay. Anyway, should I take a break right now and go down and see if my guest is down there? I don't see him down there. I don't know where he is yet, but maybe he's on coming up at 8 o'clock. Okay, so somebody's running for county commissioner. As a matter of fact, I like talking to county commissioner people. You know, it just kind of, you know. Now, if you want to see your name, you want to hear your name and your child's name, you know, mentioned on the radio, the most important show in town, which is this one. Make sure you tell your school to put them in. I mean, now if he's a hellion, don't worry about it. But if he's a good kid and he's going to school, doing what he has to do every week, making a difference, okay? Go to Montgomery Advertiser and put his name in for Student of the Week. Now, I don't know if the teachers do this or if the students do it, but I don't know. But anyway, somebody does it. Call Montgomery Advertiser and see. Because I know we got more than three kids that are doing good work in our public schools. I mean, there's got to be more than three. Okay, so I'm just saying, y'all might want to. I don't see anybody from LAMP on here. I mean, as a matter of fact, the fact that they're in these programs means that they're probably good kids, so we need to go out there. Okay, because I know I'm always talking about how bad public school is, but everybody's not bad. Everybody's not bad. There's some good kids over there, like my child, good kid. But I can't. I'm not gonna use my unfair influence and try to get them to put him. If he makes the cut, he makes the cut. If he don't make the cut, somebody don't put him in. I don't even know if he even knows that they're doing this. I don't know if the Montgomery Advertiser has sort of put this out there enough so people know they can, if they got a favorite student in school, they can, put them in for this thing. Now I don't know what they get, or if they get anything. Sometimes recognition is pretty good though. I can live with that. 860-1440 is the number here, but I'm waiting for a guest. He may be here from 8 to 8:30. I'm not sure. But sometimes my mind ain't what it used to be. So let me take a break. And I come down and I hear now. Oh man! Now that the things are coming out about Judge Hardwick, my Lord, he was, man. I mean, what kind of son does that to their dad, man? But anyway, I surely hope prayers go out for him every morning, and also Miss Daisy, who's a bit under the weather. Our prayers go out for her too. She's in the hospital. I don't think they want to tell. Oop, I already said it. Okay, my bad. So anyway, so we hope for her to have a speedy recovery also. And hey, and this is like the church bulletin. You know what I'm saying? So if you know somebody that's not feeling too good, things are bad, text me or send me an email to elkman0557@gmail, and I'll make sure we mention them on the air. There's power, truly power in prayer. And I believe if you pray hard enough and long enough, something will happen. We call it push. Pray until something happens. Okay, so let's take a break, and we'll be back right after this message. Okay, I know y'all think I'm a hellion, but I'm really not. I'm a God-fearing man. Okay, although some of y'all do get on my nerves, but I get on some of y'all's nerves too. So it's even. Okay, it really is an even Steven kind of thing. All right. So let's take a break, and we shall return. Uno momento. I don't see anything on my cell phone that says they're downstairs, so I got to go down there. They may be downstairs waiting in the room down there. Okay, so we're gonna see. we gonna see. We'll be back. Okay, so that's y'all going no place. I'm here. Really, I am. I'm right here. This is me on the radio. Like knocking on your window. Knocking on your radio wall. Hello. Okay. We're back.
Montgomery's Farmhouse Traffic, brought to you by Sons Automotive, family owned, family driven, on News Radio 1440. Thunderbird, the EV cryptocurrency betting platform, will be hosting the second ever Thunderbird World Championship, featuring races set to kick off on April 1st, offering a staggering $1 million prize pool. The qualifiers in the 2024 season spanning across Europe, North America, and a new addition, South America, will promise the growing popularity and fan base of American esports. So while other companies might deliver a lot of pay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you will never pay staff. See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. It's a fact. Guys hate going to the doctor. But when it comes to erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues, all of them are covered. Look at that. Themselves. When probably up to 75 years old, and should start their system and energy levels. But now, with sex again, but people themselves as a human being, I think the years ago, the problem was because right here, man. Right here, ma'am. Our restaurant's just a few blocks from you. Why is she not seeing us?
Back to the usual, I guess.
Ma'am, can you not see us?
Nope, they can't see you because you're buried.
The restaurants, you are invisible online. You see cute groups. Get found, get on the map. Learn more at cutespace.com.
veterans do. Oh, you a vet too?
My grandfather was a Vietnam veteran. Oh yeah, yeah. He would get, I didn't make that one. He would have a good time, and he would in the middle of the night. I'm like, man, you should be sleepy. Good to see you again, Kevin. All right, well, thank you for the opportunity.
thank you later. Take it down.
I'm running for your county commissioner. So I'm
Which for Rhonda Walker's thing?
yes. It's an open seat, and she's not seeking re-election, so I'm here to ask you for your vote.
You got to ask me. Take it again. I think it's time for some younger people, intelligent younger people.
Yes.
To take some of these jobs, but not a fanatic.
No, that's not going to work here in
Now,
Montgomery.
do you have to run as a Democrat or Republican in this race?
County commission, yes.
Yeah, you do.
And
you're running as a Democrat.
I'm running as a America First conservative Republican.
Okay.
The Democrats didn't qualify.
Oh, really? So who else is running for that?
It's a gentleman by name of Justin
Costanza.
Costanza.
I was wondering what he was running for. But we do need some bright young people in some of these jobs. Man, we like to die in office.
Do the Dianne Feinstein thing.
Yeah. I mean, Gilmore died in office, I think. Tracy died in office. A lot of folks died. I mean, and the sad thing about it is they don't teach anybody else the ropes as a lot of them as they come in. They hold it all. It's like having a recipe of the best chicken in the world, but when you die, the recipe goes with you because you never shared that information with anybody.
Kevin, you know as well as I do, in scripture, you had the Moses generation, then you had the Joshua generation, then you had the Caleb generation. Yeah. And that goes back to God's order of things, but we're far from that.
If you're always missing part of your favorite show because you have to get out of the car, don't worry, take us with you, either through our streaming app or through your Alexa or
Here we go. And we are back. Good morning. 7:40 in the morning. I got a guest. He's still half of the next hour. And I have Mr. Cedric Cooley with us. He's running for your if you happen to live in district number District 3. District 3. Well, first of all, since most of us don't really know who you are, explain us a little bit why you decided to run for public office and what's your platform.
Thank you, Kevin, for inviting me out. Good morning, everyone. I'm Cedric Cooley, Montgomery County. Since 2015, I've been an active member of the Montgomery GOP, and we've been there for the hard fight. 2016, campaigning for Donald Trump in Montgomery County. You get some. I got death threats from it, and it didn't come from people that you think. It came from people that look like me. But I still stood my ground, and I support Donald Trump for president. We won that election, and in 2020, we all know what went down with the pandemic and with the riots and with the protests and with the election. So I support Donald Trump in 2020 as well. I support him again this year in 2024. But a little bit about myself. I was born in Las Vegas, Nevada in 1990. My mom is from Lowndes County. She was born and raised in Fort Deposit. So my mom's side of the family lives here. When I was 2 years old, I moved back here. I went to South Florida Elementary, went to Capitol Heights Middle School, I went to Daniel Pratt Elementary. I graduated from Stanhope Elmore High School in Millbrook. So I grew up in the central Alabama region, Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, and this is home for me. There's a lot of places that I've traveled to. I studied at Jacksonville State University, and I
and political science. And I decided, hey, I don't want to be a campaign manager my entire life or a political talking head on TV. So I got back to my roots of spirituality. I transferred down to Faulkner University and studied theology, biblical text, because I wanted to be able to read the scripture for myself and have that personal relationship. And my father's side of the family is from Jamaica. They were political asylum seekers. My grandfather was a doctor, and he performed the surgery on individual that was part of the ruling political party at the time. And that individual died because of complications from the surgery. So the ruling political regime gave my grandfather an ultimatum. You either go to jail for the rest of your life or you leave this country. And the one country that they picked was the United States of America. And my dad's side of the family lives in New York, which I have yet to visit. New York, here, I was just about to say, I hear it's not the same, you know. So, growing up in the South, you know, you were shaped by certain experiences. And I don't think we're a product of our environment, but we are a product of our expectations. My father wasn't present for the majority of my life. My grandfather, he was born in 1948, Kevin, and he helped raise me. He was a part of the lockdowns and the sit-ins and the mass demonstrations of the 50s and 60s. He also used to tell me about how there was a young president, President Kennedy, get on TV and remind people of the real enemies that we faced at the time, and that we would draw the line in the sand, and the Russians would not come further. So he remembers that going through the 60s. So when my mother was born in 1968, he was not drafted for Vietnam, Kevin. He volunteered. He served from 1968 until 1973. And he went in the U.S. Army Infantry as a private, and he came out as a sergeant. And I stayed with him towards the latter years of his life, and every night he would wake up at the same time between 2:30 and 3:30 screaming, still fighting the same battles that he fought so long ago. And we knew we were not at risk or anything, but we also knew that there was still more work to be done. Mm-hmm. So his philosophy was, listen, you have been born into a responsibility. This is your home. You like it or not, the United States of America is your home. You ought to help improve your home. If you don't like the bathroom, renovate it. If you don't like your bedroom, improve it. If you don't like the living areas of the kitchen or the living room, again, improve it. Don't burn it down. Don't destroy it. This is your responsibility. So that helped shape my worldview. Fast forward a couple of years. In 2015, it was a pivotal year for many Americans. Even more so now in 2024, I've decided to run for the County Commission District 3 because I think this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for individuals to put the money where the mouth is, but more importantly, if you talk the talk, you ought to walk the walk. And I've been a part of NGOP since 2015. I've helped numerous campaigns. I was actually a Mo Brooks guy. I was the co-chair of the Montgomery County region for the Mo Brooks campaign. We all know how the results went. And now I like very much how Katie Brett continuing to attempt to earn our trust and our support. She's doing a great job at it. So another thing that I am a part of, the Alabama State Executive Committee for the Republican Party. We just recently had our winter meeting, and we voted to endorse former President Donald Trump for president in 2024 as a party. So I'm not shy about my political principles. I believe that you can work with a principled individual. What you can't do is work with an individual that doesn't have a strong backbone, that blows in the wind. And you ought to know who's sitting on the other side of the table. Mm-hmm. And if you agree 10% of the time, as an elected official, you owe it to your constituents to get something done with that 10% of the time. A couple of other things I'm a part of. The Alabama Republican Outreach Coalition. We work in concert with the assembly groups of the Republican Party. I've visited numerous county GOP chapters to facilitate a conversation. What we can do as a party to help you on the ground level, and also what can we do as a party to reach out to the conservatives across boundaries and lines and figure out what direction we need to continue to go in, what direction we need to improve in. And in 2022, I was tapped by the Alabama Republican Party to be a field director, to have 7 candidates run for the state legislature and the state senate. One of the 7 that I helped advise won. It was Representative Rick Rooney of the Henry, Houston County area. And this is a Republican gentleman that won in a Democratic district. So in 2022, in the state of Alabama, Kevin, we actually did have a red wave. We helped flip over 50 seats in Democrat-controlled areas from the local level, Board of Education, sheriff, county commission position, as well as that state representative. So I've been active. I've been facilitating conversations about we as a party, what we need to do right, as well as we as a party, what we need to hold on to. Those values that make us the conservatives of Alabama. And I make it a point to explain that I am an America First conservative. To me, that's important because I'm not a Lindsey Graham Republican. I'm not a Mitt Romney Republican. I'm not a Jeb Bush Republican. I'm an America First conservative Republican.
Okay. Item number 860-1440. Tell us your name one more time.
Cedric Coley.
Cedric Coley running for county commissioner in the county of Montgomery. I'm going to phone right quick and see who's there. Good morning. Who is?
Good morning. What? Explain that. What do you mean? Are there human beings? Well, I'm referring to the Americans that are concerned about the inflation. I'm referring. Okay. Well, I'll let you finish, sir. I'm here to reply to you. Well,
we ain't here to get them free. Yeah, I don't want to get them free publicity. They're not up here. They ain't paying me. I'm giving them now. We give them free publicity. I ain't doing that. Everybody pays. Nobody asked you to. No, it doesn't. It means we are commercial. And I'm not giving. It's not him. It's me. We're not giving somebody else free publicity. They reached out to me. They ain't paid no. Now you want somebody. Good morning.
Good morning. I turned 33 6 months ago. No, sir, I thank you for that question. And it goes back to who we are as individuals. I was raised to value and appreciate personal responsibility. What you work for, you earn. And I also believe in term limits. You know, when you serve your time, it's time to move on and give someone else another opportunity to either improve on what you've done or add to the success. So to answer your question, generation, the young generation, we have to realize every single day that these issues are not going to wait until we reach a certain age. These issues are hitting us in our pocketbooks, in our homes, in our everyday lives every single day. So if we're going to get a certain age, then we've already failed one another and ourselves. And it goes back to, are you paying attention with what's going on right now? Because at 33 years old, I'm very concerned about my future. When we talked about making America great again, to me, that message was about, listen, one household should be able to have one job and take care of the bills and be comfortable as a middle class working individual. It goes back to when you go get an education, that education ought to prepare you to be a productive citizen and be self-sufficient, as opposed to a woke media outlet agenda that's pushing to the youth now. It goes back to family value. Do you cherish one another as loved ones as well as neighbors? So going back to those times that great, I would say this about American history: whatever group you come from or originate, two things help you and your ancestors get through the hundreds of years of American struggle. One, it was their faith, and two, it was their families. That bound us together in this American experiment. So the youth have to step up to the plate. Now's the time. There's a great urgency. These issues are going to continue to plague our communities unless we step up and say, you no more. We're going to draw the line in the sand here, and we're going to hold the line to liberty.
Appreciate it. Somebody wants to know what's your day job.
My day job, so that's the fun part. When you're away from the stress and the political games and the arguments. I'm a farmer. My grandfather was a cattleman, so I'm partaking in produce. I want to segment into big food. So I'm a farmer. I also am the caregiver of my mother who went through kidney failure. And we'll talk a little bit later struggles of civil liberty in the era of COVID. And I'm a small business owner, and my company is called Alabamboo Inc. It's a service provider, agriculture service provider, and for other individuals that are interested in commercially farming bamboo.
Good morning, you're on air. Morning. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes. No, absolutely not. And thank you. Thank you for helping me to clarify, because what I didn't want to do is, because politicians like to cut people off and not allow them their free speech. So I wanted him to get what he wanted to say out first.
I've got to go. Okay. And
we'll
we gotta go.
address it, Kevin.
Appreciate
we'll address it.
We got about a 5-minute break there. Now you see the dichotomy of running as a black Republican.
Oh, absolutely. And
You can't tell.
but that's what iron sharpens iron, right? And what they don't know is like the liberals across the country, they're actually beating America into that more perfect union. Because across the board, you have people standing up saying, you know what, that's not
You want some
important. I'm okay. Thank you.
I'm definitely a yes. Donald Trump is expected to score another big primary victory over his former UN ambassador Nikki Haley, this time in Michigan. Not all Republicans are on his corner. Nikki Haley is very happy about this year, and that he's very good. Either her prosperity, or Biden, or her minority. President Biden says that Haley pulled up attack in Michigan today over his response to the war in the Middle East. CBS's Emily Navarro from Detroit.
Have this movement to go uncommitted coming up, uncommitted as obviously. And that's being pushed by Arab Americans, Muslim Americans, but Russian voters, younger voters, as a really kind of protest President Biden's handling.
Although, I'm going to tell you anything.
The highest percentage.
I know green, sure.
The president
The Republican Party has good lip service to help it. They are good lip service to help it. They want to first of all, we've been a minority GOP. So the GOP are not the GOP. Distinguish between, it's like a guy who tells you he believes in God. He never shows it, but he says it. But it's not. He says, I believe in God. He never demonstrates that belief. And the Republican Party never really has demonstrated that belief. There was a guy running for governor a couple years ago. James something. Fields. Good guy. I said, well, they never really, they talk adults, but actually put the financial resources behind somebody. I've been 32 years. I got here it's actually some situation. Everybody's gonna try their best to bring quick shots and left side of the head because you do a good job. You guys are good guys. I think you'll probably do some time. You cannot go into the lion's mouth and expect to pull out a plate. Sometimes you gotta kill the lion. And they put him on the plate. I agree. And that's what you gotta do. I've been put on that crap here. I'm not a Republican, but I do believe in the philosophy of conservatism. It's better served us. It is all. You know, one guy that I'm really doing. Our schools are the schools that are just the words. I don't understand that. Why our schools get to be always the worst. And every evening you see, the school is bad, who in it? Us and Mexico. That's right. That's right. As if they're preparing us for the inevitability of going to jail. That's right.
You know, your experiences are vastly more than because, you've seen some stuff, you've heard some stuff, you've lived through some stuff. So, yeah, you know as well as I do, it's a constant struggle. And the ones that you really look out for, like the old saying goes, oh Lord, our enemies we can handle, save us from thy friends.
Yeah. You're saying that keep your that's right. I just think it was something important. I could never do it because I just don't believe anything we've got to do it. Are turning the boys to girls. There's the thing is that a girl, quote unquote, girl in Maine won 2 wrestling championships in one night. She beat the boys and the girls. You know why? Because she ain't a girl. That's right. Message. Yeah, I just. We do need younger people. If you really do, it is best to keep. Okay, so what happens is that the more you call, the more you add, that gives people who don't like you more chance to fall in. Well, not just fall in, but to. And I know it's a burden. So if you can, when you give answers, give insights on like, what day are you born? Well, back in 1991, you know, I was in Alabama and I was being born. Okay. No. Yeah, anyway, just give answers that even though it is not a yes or no, you answer that. Quickly, concisely, and with yes or no. And anything, and then well, you want to know anything else? Go to my website, there's my Facebook page, whatever. Then with all the questions for that. Now, you don't want to give people ammunition to shoot you with. But all these folks just want to argue. That's right. They say good morning. Why is it a good morning? If you happen to be black and you don't happen to the Democratic mantra, you know, you just, I knew that guy was talking about. Because what you do is you said the people who were, the people who look like you. And he was saying, well, who looks like you? He wanted to say, and you probably knew that. And I kept going back to what? Americans. Yeah. Because I'm not going to differentiate between this and that. But there is a difference. There's a difference in culture. Black culture, there's a difference in culture. Now, philosophically, every conservative, for the most part, thinks the same. Every liberal thinks pretty much the same. So you can't ignore the difference, but you can embrace the difference. You know what I'm saying? You can't really ignore them. It's like, really, it's abuse. He was saying that, you're not proud of being black. But you're black. But we all different. If you and the white guy going down the street, you're actually different. You can't say we're not different. That's fine. And the nice thing about being different, everybody don't like lemonade. That's true. So what I do is I will clean up lemonade and I'll fight for your right to have that lemonade. I'm not nothing. So things that are obvious don't let people shoot you. And we are back. Good morning to you. Hope that they find you well. I guess it's Cedric Coley. He is running for county commissioner. That is the seat that's left vacant by Wanda Walker. Yes. As a matter of fact, he's going to be my county commissioner. As a matter of fact, if he gets to the job. Let me take this other couple for a minute here. Good morning. Who's this? Doing fine.
So let's start with the most obvious. When I was explaining who I was, and I like to hear the voters talk. So I'm listening to reply, not to fight or respond before you finish your thought. So when I was explaining who I was, I explained that my mom was born in Lowndes County and my father was from Jamaica. So that caller called in. I wanted that caller to fully explain and get out what he was going to say. And as I attempted to reply, he continued to talk. So, you know, it's not about arguing, it's about getting facts out. So let me clarify some things. We do in the Alabama Republican Party have a Alabama minority GOP. If you go back, and I encourage people to look me up, CedricColey.com and Cedric Coley on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I encourage you to also look up the Alabama Outreach Coalition's Facebook page. I hosted here in Montgomery County in September of 2022 an outreach event to Black Americans that vote conservative. It was a thank you event. Thank you for standing with us. Thank you for voting for our party candidates. And what can we do to continue to improve our relationship with you? That was a thank you to those voters. The other thing I want to mention is when I'm having conversations about America First conservatism, that's what that's about. I'm not here to defend any other elected official, a public figure. If you have an issue with them, I encourage you to reach out to them and, make your complaints known. I'm not here to talk about the 2020 election. I was a part of the Stop the Steal movement. I'm not here to express what my philosophy is about what someone doesn't like me. I'm here running for County Commission District 3 as an America First conservative Republican for the Republican nomination. Now, on the other side of the aisle, the Democrats don't have a candidate field. So a lot of these issues, I want to talk about policy. I want to talk about what on day one I want to implement. I want to talk about why I think you should consider me for county commission. I'm not here to talk about I'm not here to talk about ideology and philosophy that you don't like about me. My fights have been very public. The death threats have been very public. Now, if you haven't been paying attention because you're on the other side of the aisle, then I encourage you to look me up. CedricColey.com, Cedric Coley on Facebook, Cedric Coley on Twitter.
Okay, let me take another call for you. Good morning on air.
Good morning. Let me reiterate what I stated earlier. I'm an America's First conservative Republican. I'm not a Lindsey Graham Republican. I'm not a Mitt Romney Republican. I'm an America Firster. And let me reiterate again, sir. Let me reiterate, sir. I supported Donald Trump in 2016. Got death threats from it. I supported him in 2020. Got death threats from it. I will plan on supporting him this year as well for president. I don't believe that, sir. I think that's liberal propaganda that you're pushing. Do you watch CNN or MSNBC? Sir, are you on Facebook? Now you've got me confused, sir. What election are you referring to? Well, listen, I think a lot of the Democratic liberal listeners aren't paying attention to what I'm saying. But let's go back to 2000 election. Democrats said it was stolen.
Hold that thought. I gotta go to a break. We'll be right back.
I think that was better, but they're just not listening. They just want to argue, which is good, which is okay because I can start pushing back. What do you think? Uh, you know the kind of pushback you're going to get. You just know it's going to be there. So, so what I would do, I wonder if all this. But I could quit my job. I retired without I work for politics. You have to do. But I hate to run for a job, lose a job, and not have a job. But what you need to do, figure out a way to turn the question. Okay. Um, because if you don't, it's this. It's going around in circles. We already know the thing. I mean, if you say you like Trump, and 80 million people cannot all be crazy. It just can't be. So the question I ask you, why do you believe that 80 million would support a guy almost that's got 91 indictments? That's the story. It ain't what he did or didn't do. Why do you believe that 80 million people would support a guy with that kind of level? Because they ain't saying we're all crazy. They ain't saying we all Nazis. You can't search the black vote. And even more black folks got confidence on voting for him. Absolutely. But that's the question. Why? That's the story. That's the story. And these are the same individuals that in the year 2000, oh, George Bush stole it. And yeah. 2004, oh, George Bush stole it. They couldn't think he stole it. Right. But you guys still have people transfer of power. Yeah. And listen, I think he got screwed. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care the Republican Party threw him under the bus as well. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They talk with forked tongue because even Republicans want their type of Republican. They don't want you if you are somewhat progressive, but yet still conservative. So you got like the old folks like whoever was running that thing up in the old folks. They figure. I mean, it's almost like racist.
in their own party against their own people. You know, they
want to pick and choose winners.
They do. They want you to be the good old boys club.
That's right. And if you're not a part of that establishment, good old boys, then hey.
And we've had enough of them. Yeah, we've had enough of them. They're the most weak-kneed, liver cowards I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you say you're racist, they will crawl under a rock. I'm sorry.
I'm not racist.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to give you territory just to show you how racist I'm not. Yeah.
And black folks around to think everybody is racist because they have to be a Republican. So I don't know if it's ever gonna. If we're ever gonna find a middle ground. But if we do, it's gonna come from younger people.
That's right. And that comes from my generation looking past the issues that older generations are entrenched on. You know, there's certain things that I'm not saying because they're not as important to me. You know, I want to talk about policy. I want to talk about getting stuff done. But, you know, it's popular and trendy to continue to argue. At the end of the day, I don't mind to argue. If it's productive, if it moves us forward, I'm going to argue with a Joe Biden because that's counterproductive.
Yeah.
We're both going to have IQ loss.
And if I may make one more comment.
Go ahead.
The conservatives all, just like the Democrats, they all have words that they use to try to whatever point they're trying to make. Well, after a while, if everybody's using the same language, you sound like a mimicker. You don't sound as though it's coming from you. It's part of the playbook. I'm telling you, you have to be different. You got to use different verbiage. Same message. Different verbiage. Like the woke crap. Okay, the minute you say woke, you're automatically dismissed as somebody who don't. But you can get the same message across, just not using the same verbiage. And there people feel that's coming from you and not you mimicking what somebody else has said.
You know the important part about you, Kevin, and this outlet that I'm plugged into right now. There are conservatives that listen. They don't call in, but they update me more on what's going on your show than I watch. So they're listening, and I'm speaking directly to them. It's fine that the Democrats are coming against me. Hey, you need to know I'm a fighter. But at the end of the day, that's the group I'm speaking to.
Yeah, right. It's true. Because, and that's a good point. People who don't like you, they're going to fight you. And they won't change their mind. That's right. So our job is to get more people who think like you to come on the vote. Okay, we got a couple more minutes left with my guests. So when you guys get on the phone, listen, I don't have time for long arguments between you guys. Ask questions, let them answer it quickly, and then we keep on moving on because we only got about 7 minutes left. Good morning, who's this? Good morning.
I want to get back to yes. Well, you got to fight against inflation, and you got to fight against the cost of living and other factors. So in 2024, that income is different from 20 years ago because of inflation. So you should be able to have a comfortable middle class living in the state of Alabama with $40,000 to $50,000 up. To me, I consider that middle class, yes, sir.
Well, the state a couple of weeks ago, they did a survey. They said in Alabama, in order to live decently, you need $47,000. So $50,000 basically what you need to live. But here's the problem. In our current economic market, the only way to get that is to up the salary of the people. Okay, Well, who pays for that salary upgrade? We do.
That's right.
So it's goods and services.
Well, no, sir, it's not on the Democratic side. It's actually the opposite because the Democratic policies have led to these issues. Bidenomics is causing inflation. If we go back to the Trump era, the Trump years, it'll be better.
Yeah. Good morning. Who's this?
Good to hear from you, dude. Good morning. That's what I stated. Yes. It's the County Commission District 3. So it's several areas. It ends in the Arrowhead area. It goes west and ends in the Ann Street area. You have Lagoon. Go ahead.
All right. Appreciate it. We're running out of time. I got to take one more question, and then we'll let him get the last word. Good morning. Pretty good. Mhm.
Well, I'm a fighter, and I like to respond when I'm spoken to. And this is a show about conversation. And if an individual is asking me a question and I want to represent them in the district, let's have a conversation. But if an individual is coming at me with political ideology, well, I've got political ideology as well. And free speech, I ought to respond. Well, to the liberals,
let me give him the last word. I got my time's just about up. Uh, Give me the last word. Why should people vote for Civic Food?
well, I would love to have more conversations about policy, what I would like to do. Step one, I'm for no new taxes. I don't think we have a revenue problem. We've got a spending problem. We've got a management problem. So step one, no new taxes across the board on the county level. Step two, let's audit everything. Let's figure out where the monies are. And step three, let's work on critical infrastructure. When it rains along Atlanta Highway, I'm hydroplanting. That ought not be in 2024. Also, we need to ensure that the roads are adequate throughout the county, not just the district, because we have a certain standard that we ought to uphold in 2024. And if you want to look me up, I asked if you live in Montgomery County Commission District 3, you please consider voting for me. I'm a Republican for the Republican nomination on March the 5th, which is a week from today. I asked for your consideration, for your vote. Look me up on cedriccoley.com, X, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm an America First conservative, and I'm not apologetic about it. Some folks want to talk about the details and argue about, well, I don't like what you're wearing, or I don't like what you said. I'm not here to convince you to like me. I'm here to work with you to build a stronger Alabama and a stronger District 3 on the county commission.
Let me grab a phone down so you can do that. One time, I got one question. Good morning, on there.
Good morning.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
One more thing, coming up this election, they want to renew the tax that the school board's getting, that 3 mil, whatever it is.
3.5.
Right. Are you for renewing that?
I ask that people go vote. That's important. Whether you like me or not, whether you're going to vote Republican or not, please go vote. Your vote, your voice matters. I recommend that people vote no for that amendment. For the next 30 years, we're talking about raising our taxes. I don't think that's the number one priority issue for schools right now. They've got a lot of issues. First and foremost, let's do a full audit, not a partial audit. Let's do a full audit. But I recommend people vote no.
Okay. Now, coming up next hour, I got the school board people coming in telling me, oh, yes. So we'll see. And then Mr. CFO, Mr. Watson will be here. So we'll see what they got to say about it. I'm definitely against it. I would think that money is not the problem. I agree. But you need money. Absolutely. To do things for sure. But school is the only place where you keep pushing it in and then you never get it.
And they want to talk about more money, but they never want to talk about school choice.
Yeah.
We need to have both conversations, and I want to see that full audit.
Yeah. If you're looking at full audit. Anyway, so you got a website again?
Yes, CedricColey.com, CedricColey.com. You can also look me up on Facebook, X, and Instagram. And let's please continue to participate, because this is not a spectator sport. This is, you're in the arena. This is our country, and it is a republic if we can keep it.
If we can keep it. Well, thank you, Senator. Good luck on that. And how old are you, 33?
I'm 33, 6 months ago. Yes, sir.
Really young. You and my son, same.
This country's worth fighting for. And thank you, Kevin, for the service.
All right. We appreciate it. We'll be back. Uno momento. And hopefully I gotta get another guest coming up at 9. Arthur Watts and people from the school board. They want to try to convince us that we need that money, that 3-point deal. We need to renew it. We keep telling them it's not a new tax. I understand that part. We just need to renew it. Okay. We'll be back.
You remember a couple of years ago, they gave the partial audit and about 200,000. They did a partial audit and about 200,000 was misappropriated. Let's do a full audit.
They always want to misappropriate.
I mean, people buy it. People buy it.
You gotta dive into time.
Just all the big chains. Well, it is what it is.
What in the? Can you not see us? Nope, they can't see you. Because you're very deep in the list. You are invisible online. You can just hear us through. Get on the fact. Learn more at cumulus.com.
Everyone has 3 minutes a day participating in agriculture with those not. I'm Jeff Hart, I'm a farmer on the rocket. Caroline Dawson cares about the farmers out there. We need somebody more to do it. There's much hard. Caroline Dawson cares about it. Very cool. Not about this. Overcome and yield costs are plain so bad without such. Farmer investment is no care about. We need people like Caroline for us to get this to get to the top. Caroline Dawson is good for every farm. She's got food, she's got personality, she's got nobody can give her food for them. Like Caroline Dawson. How much good food for farm that can do is Caroline Dawson for conference.
I'm Caroline Dawson, and I approve this message.
That are often part of colds and infections. It flushes a pure, refreshing saline solution through your sinuses to give you the soothing moisture you need. Navage also sucks out the other irritants trapped in your nose. Viruses, bacteria, and germs too. Make your life feel like a dry pump but Navage helping you breathe more
Well, editing.
Healthy life.
Okay, we're back. It's 8:39 in the morning. Coming up next hour, it's supposed to have Mr. Watts and the people from the school board trying to convince you that we need to renew the tax, the 3 meal tax. And I promised them I would not be antagonistic on it. Let them make their case and let the audience, see whether or not it's the place they want to go to. Good morning, who's this? All right, good. I'm pretty sure people really enjoy that because he needs some votes. 860-1440 is the number we want to get us call. Whatever's on your mind. Good morning. morning. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, not just not just. I mean, a lot of people in Montgomery don't know what district they live in. So, hmm hmm mm. That's it. You know, but it was about Nicole and riots in the Reconstruction period. Republicans were trying to mobilize blacks to get them to vote. If you know anything about Marvel County, I think we had 8 governors who got that. And a couple of governors participated in this. They went on to serve in office. But they rioted, and Ulysses S. Grant was not protected. And they murdered a bunch of people. And I had relatives that were involved in that, and I won't get into all of that because I'm from that area. But, you know, it's just interesting to see. This morning I got up, I was going through, I wear a shirt every once in a while, and then something. And I have this shirt called the Soul Patrol. It's what do we have, you know, if we could all just get away from the polarity. It's very difficult because of the reinforcement that's done back in 2002 when they drew the lines and resegregated everybody. It's not the progress. Having participated chamber and a lot of things that were coming about in the 80s and early 90s, we were headed forward. For some reason, the decision was made to just completely divide us. It started with House Bill 56, which made our ballot so accessible that George Wallace, with his campaign in 1968, he would not be able to get on the ballot in Alabama. And we still have one of the most restrictive ballots in the country. But for them to take it and segregate it like they have done, you know, you cannot vote for the candidate. Because he could be over here, he could be over there. And then when we throw in this Democrat and Republican stuff, it just gets so mired, you don't even know what you're talking about or what they're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Right, right. All right. Appreciate it. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. I'm doing fine. All right. Good morning. Who's this? This. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. All right. Appreciate it. Good morning. Who is this? Oh, you don't have to tell me who it is. Just good morning. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They believe in it. Well, they be just right. Mm. Yes. Yeah. Mm. All right. I gotta take another call, my friend. Okay. Let me take another call. I gave you a whole lot of time there. 8:50 in the morning. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. me too. Now. Appreciate it. Let me take another call. Good morning. Who's this? Oh, you don't have to tell me who. Okay, wait a minute. You just tell me. Yeah, I got a lot. I got a. Y'all go a long time. You do. Well, I can't help you if you didn't answer. I can't help you if you didn't answer it, but I gave you some time. Mhm. Well, nobody has a problem with that. The wall ain't got nothing to do with Montgomery. Mm. Okay. Relax. Yeah. Okay, but I got you. I got you. A lot of that stuff's not even under the purview of a county commissioner. But I'll let those guys. And again, one man, I understand one man can make a difference, but one man can't do it all by itself. Anyway, I'll let them handle that. Have that fight up there in the chambers of the county commission. And I tell you the truth, man, I almost forgot who was up there. Really, I forgot. I mean, you don't really hear too much. I mean, you hear from Sankey, you hear from Singleton, but you really don't hear from very many of those other guys. That Rhonda Walker, I forgot what she looked like. And we got another guy named, what's the other guy named? I can't think of their name. Uh, what else we got? We got anyway, I can look them up in a second, but they don't really make the rounds of publicity too often. If you don't go downtown to the, but I guess they are. I guess they do Facebook the meetings and stuff like that. But I like to have a one-on-one conversation with people. Anyway, I'm gonna give a young man a shot. I'm in his district. Since I really don't know who else is running for that position, I think three people are running. I think a Democrats running, and they have not made themselves known to me. Um, you know, I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are. Can't vote for them. That's for sure. Uh, and it's an amazing thing because we've been knowing about this election for a long time. And all of a sudden, now the last week before the election, everybody wants to come on the air and tell us about themselves. And we'll forget about it in 5 minutes. So you had a long time to come on the air, numerous times, free. So you can talk to people, tell them what you want and stuff like that. So, I don't know why they wait till the last second. The State Board of Education, Charlotte Meadows, Melissa Snowden running. I didn't know that. I appreciate that. Let me see. County Commissioner Justin Costanza and Cedric Coley, that is the district. There's only two people there. That ought to be an interesting. I know the Costanza name. I don't know who Justin is, but the Costanzas are prominent members of this community. Been a while. I thought they owned something, but at least they probably own or work there or something like that. Well, I did one more call. Good money on there. It's not a new one. It's not a new one. It's been there for since 2004. It's a 3.5 million tax that they got back then. Because even then, they said they needed more money. A couple years ago, they said we needed more money. So, I'm gonna let them come here and make their own case. But it's not a new one. It's one we're already paying right now. Right. It's a renewal of the tax, not a new one. We're already paying it, but I should not have no money back. I'm talking real, something like that. Listen, listen. I think the Native Americans are good folks too, but they lost. they lost. So I don't know. Well, no. They were here before European Americans, but they wasn't here first. They were not the first. They were not the first people to come to America. Yeah. Well, that's true. That's true. But 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 there's more history that you don't know about than you'll ever know about. Okay, but wait a minute. How did I get doing that to the stage man? Well, I hear you on that one. I hear you on that one. All right. Hey, appreciate it. It's 8:57 in the morning. Yeah. Will we ever get past? No, we won't. But it's how you digest it. It's how you digest it. It's not, it's not. It happened, and the history of mankind has from the Roman Emperor, from Aristotle, from who's the other big philosopher? Socrates. I mean, man has been killing man since Eve and Evil. This is nothing new. Every once in a while, we benefit from some of them folks believing us, like Hitler of the world, people like that. Um, Maybe it's what is one man to do. Anyway, I got up. We'll see you later on. Hopefully, if my guests show up. 8:58 in the morning. We'll be back. Man, man, how do you do that to your girl? That's something guys will never need to get out into. Yeah, I don't want to talk to you so long. They be blocking a brother. They've been blocking you. They've been blocking a brother. Oh, no, they don't need to do that. Yeah, they don't want me to talk to you. I thought you had a problem with you. Let me talk to you. Why? However, all I see, I don't think it's a good job. We just have some philosophical differences. Oh, okay. Okay. Chief of staff of what? Yeah. Melvin, Mr. Suave. You can answer that. My son goes to and he goes to one of the greatest skills I've ever known. I kind of wish he would talk more. Why is it that the atmosphere in magnet school is so much better than traditional school and they both public school? Why is the expectation of excellence so much higher in magnet schools And if we just raise the expectation a little bit in public school, that will take everybody up. It's- Man, that's crazy.
What I would say is, when I look at the differences, we do have different levels of society.
We all have each other.
And magnet schools traditionally are magnets for a reason. So you might have mass acceleration.
Right.
So
I know they do over there. I know why they exist.
So it just creates a difference.
But the environment, the learning environment should be the same in a magnet school as a regular school. And my son gets absolutely fail every day about the environment. People come to school smelling like marijuana. They make all kind of noises and everything. And I talked to what excuse me. I made a request to talk to the principal about 4 or 5 times and ain't got the call back yet. But I don't understand the environment. I shouldn't be able to walk into a school and know that it's not a magnet school by behavior. We don't have it. The state of Alabama said you can use corporal punishment. So I don't know why the school board thinks that we shouldn't. The state of Alabama, the law said you can do it. If you're a custodian over town in that kind of capacity, you can put the word on it. So not putting the word on it is got us where we are today in our public schools. I agree that you get it at home. But when you don't get it at home, and you don't get it at school, the only place you're going to get it is jail. That's where you have it. One jail. And they don't care nothing about who your mom is, who your daddy is, the hard times you had coming, they will beat you down. I'm going to beat you down. But we need you though sometimes. This is my opinion. It is. This is all my opinion. Yeah. So my opinion means something because I've been a student in school too. Everybody that's successful in this life has demonstrated somewhere, somehow, some discipline. Why is that word not in the lexicon of education?
I don't know what you want me to hear. What you want to hear. What I would say is that we have a lot of success
in magnet school.
No, in traditional school. We have students that are graduating, not just from magnet school, but traditional school. This son, and he goes to a traditional school.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, sometimes those are two kinds of people that tend to be laughing. But based on data, based on watching students grow, I can tell you that there are more students successful than there are not. Now, we do need to always make sure that we hold the same standards for our students and we're working with them. But again, magnet schools are always looking for a different set of standards in terms of the technical.
I know the schools do.
All the students take AP classes. Right. Those are going to be different because they have a different set.
Well, let me do this. There is a must code in the Montgomery Public Schools. But nobody knows. Your shirts are going to be in your pants and you're supposed to have a belt on. And I still go to the school, they got their pants all dragging, no belt, shirt all out of their pants. You act the way you dress. And if you come to school as a thug, you're going to act like a thug. Yeah, tomorrow. Maybe magnet. Every school I go,
I'm going to say this. I'm in school office.
They're reducing it.
And I will tell you.
They're reducing it. If we're going to keep on fighting it, we're going to keep on reducing it.
To say that everyone so I would ask that you not say everybody. I'm in school office.
But too many people that I know.
But
yeah.
And if you're gonna ask me and respectfully, I can't change obviously, but I can share my experience.
We can do a hell of a lot better with discipline.
And you're right. I can share my experiences, and my experiences are very good. Here's our problem.
But you know, they know.
I come up all the time. Let me do it.
This is the build the bitch now. You know that, right?
Well, I do, but I'm going to tell you that here's are also. So what I would ask you to do.
I do. Keep my son. I'm over there all the time.
Now, if they're outside, they're going to see how to do that.
Okay, wait. They don't sit there at the door. I watch it. They don't sit there at the door and pull their shirts out of their pants, pull their pants down. They walk out of that school that way. And I watch it.
But all I'm asking you is for me. And then and you said that nobody.
Okay. When I said nobody.
I'm telling you that students follow that.
Okay, some do. All don't. And for those who don't, why don't we do something about it? The grand majority do. Can you say that?
And
I have
and I'm not going to say that we definitely do address it.
And you don't paddle. Nobody gets the wood.
We will not be touching our.
And the law says you can.
Our law says that we won't put our policy is that we don't put.
That's a policy, but the law says you can use paddle.
And we won't. And I don't know any district that does.
Because they all become wusses. And that's why the kids are taking over the school. That's a great opinion. Because I'm in the school. I'm in the student.
I mean, I would probably beg to argue that most parents don't want us to put their hands.
Those are idiots too. The Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the chops, and it happens every day. Other day, teacher called me. The child goes up to her, Montgomery Public School, and says, "Bitch, do you know who I am?" She takes him to the office. The office sends him out. We're trying to crack it. And then once one child sees the child getting away with that, somebody else gonna try.
We really do need to change our environment. We need your help. Because our kids are our kids, and what we won't do is put them on our feet. So what we need to do is really make sure that collectively, with your support, with the support of our family, it is not just a teacher, it's not just me that's going to do it. It really is a community. And you representing the content. There's a lot that we need to do.
So we're in the social work business then at school.
There's no way that you're sitting in front of children and not supporting them and teaching them values and working with them, trying to adapt some things that you can see and heard through social media, whether it's social media, you support families and trying to support their children. And so I can't give you a cookie cutter answer to all of that. And what I do know is that we have
but if you have discipline in that school, the minute you get in that door, who's that? Oh, but the minute you go in that school door, you come under the local curriculum, pretty much philosophy, where the teachers become in place of the parents. And if, as a parent, you have certain authority given to you by not only God, but the law. But you guys come around and extract any a football coach can do whatever he needs to do to make the team good. And we don't complain about it. But the teachers are like coaches in their own classroom, and they ought to have the same power and control like a football coach does on his team. And I'm telling you, we don't have that as a teacher starts. You won't know the things that can be going on in school. I wouldn't be fighting for the I ain't gonna fight for the thing. But I wouldn't be fighting if we got something like if I just felt the environment. The environment. Bad.
Because we are bringing the changes on Mr. Elkins, and there has been some improvement. You have to acknowledge that. I'm saying you have to acknowledge the improvement and acknowledge that the atmosphere is changing. It's a process, but it's
I love this. This is like an aircraft carrier. Then it may be turning, but I hate see it.
And I will say that if discipline can I can say that and that's it.
Real different.
Discipline now. Whether we're not going to put anything
and therein lies the
whole that works. If that works, that's the one that we want to do. So the parents wouldn't have
in
issues.
any county, in a
Child
state.
is perfect.
That's right, but the law said, the state law said you can use corporate companies. The law said that. So why the school thought that it wasn't a good idea to obey the law, I do not know. And they make a policy with how these boys walk around, they pretty much anything they want to do. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna try to talk and, and the headphones right there. Yeah. But I would be nice, and I appreciate that, and I would not be anti-tax. Everybody knows I am. Yeah. I'm not. Okay.
Are you facing the blast? Are you facing the blast?
Yeah. But you know, I do believe in public schools. The reason I sent my son there, he went to public school until he was in 9th grade. I wanted him to have that high school experience where you know you girl breaks your heart, whatever the case may be, and you do sports things, all that stuff. It just ain't turned out to be that. But smart kid. So and the other day he was telling me, he said they were talking about old days, the slavery, something like that. And he asked me why did they have to be so graphic about it? Because all he heard was kids and bathrooms. I don't even like them because they were too nice. And the information is information. I guess it depends on how you disseminate that information, how people receive it. Now we're on the other second. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have been privileged this morning to have a couple of people in the studio with me this morning who you may not recognize all their names, but they're certainly making a difference in school. And the only difference I have with them is still off the side of it sometimes. But anyway, so we got Mr. Arthur Watt. Yes, right? Sir. He is you are the CFO. That's correct. You find the money. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you've been doing a good job of finding the money too. I really appreciate it. We appreciate that. And tell the folks who you are.
I'm Jenny Wilson, Chief of Staff.
Okay. And you guys came up today to y'all don't mind taking calls after we get your introduction and you give your okay. Let me stick it in. But anyway, so why are we here today?
We're here to just talk with your listeners about an opportunity that's coming up on March 5th. There will be on the ballot an opportunity to renew a 3.5 mil tax that supports education for both Montgomery Public Schools and Pike Road schools. This tax, of course, will enable us to continue to receive $11 million for our school district to support an array of various educational issues. And of course, as I stated, it's $1.2 million for Pike Road. Again, I think it's important to stress that this is a renewal. It is not a new tax. Therefore, an individual's tax bill will not increase one red penny, but it would cost us $11 million if we do not renew this tax. This tax has been around for about 40 years. And so now, 20 years ago, this tax was voted on. Now it's time to renew this tax again. And of course, we are really hoping that all of the listeners will support this tax renewal.
Did not a few years ago that Pike Road got some money, I don't think it then, that belonged to Montgomery? Did that money ever come back?
It did. It did. My understanding that those funds were reimbursed from Pike Road to Montgomery Public Schools. From my understanding, there was a mistake that the state had made. The district identified that mistake, and of course, Pike Road reimbursed Montgomery Public Schools for those particular funds.
And the reason why we assist Pike Road because it's in the county.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay. The budget of the education budget for the state of Alabama is $9 billion. Now, by any stretch of the imagination, that's a whole lot of money. So why, and I don't really know, how many schools we got? 100 and something in Alabama? 123, something like that. We only got 60 counties, but we got 100.
Yeah, there is quite a few schools, and I think there's more than 123 school districts in the state of Alabama.
Okay. Why? I guess I'm trying to figure out where does $9 billion go?
Well, I think it's important also to recognize that although there's about $9 billion, but sometimes you're seeing corporate tax breaks. Sometimes there are various other issues that the legislature tend to support, for those education dollars is not all going to the school district. I'll give you an example. Um, about last year, I think that was an overage in a matter of projected tax revenue. Of course, some of those money was asked to pay for prisons and help pay for the water park and several other things. So a lot of times where the education trust fund may have allocated over 9 or 10 billion dollars. Sometimes all of those funds do not go towards public education.
It's news to me. Why they call it education fund? If it's not all on education, that's something I'll take up with the legislature.
Sure.
So if we don't grapple about this new tax, not new tax, a renewal of the tax, you will continue to get $11 million.
We would lose 11.
If we don't
if we do not renew the tax, we'll lose $11 million, which would cause us some additional pain. Right now, that $11 million helps us to support additional teacher units. We do not want overcrowded classrooms. We do not want to go back to that. It helps us support our support staff, our maintenance staff, custodians, security. And those things are so important. Help us support social and emotional support for our students, extracurricular activities, transportation. Right now, although you stated about the $9 billion at the state for education, where the state is only funding about 78% of transportation. Therefore, districts have to make up that other 22% out of their local revenue. Also, it helps support professional development, the maintaining of our facilities. We have a facility plan going on right now, and I think it's extremely important that we ensure that our students are in a comfortable, safe, and secure environment. So we have to continue to support those things, and along with some educational programs that Wilson will talk about, whether it's robotics, whether it's STEM programs. These are programs that are extremely important for our students.
How do you guarantee us if we'll bite the bullet on this 3.5 million. We'll bite the bullet on this one. We'll support you. How do you guarantee me that we won't come back 5 years from now and say we need more? It's like an engulfing flame when it comes to money and education. So how do you guarantee us that okay, let's keep it and don't ask me for anything. Give me at least 10 years before anybody asks us for any more money.
Let's kind of talk about where Montgomery has come from. Mm-hmm. Do you know that there has not been a tax increase for public schools in Montgomery for several decades until that 2020 vote?
Right.
Several decades. Right. In fact, Montgomery was receiving the lowest state required millage for support of public education.
I think it's 10.
It's 10 meals, yeah. And that is a state requirement. You have every school district has to at least get 10 meals. And guess what? That's what Montgomery was receiving, 10 meals. And to support all of the issues, not only the things that I was just speaking of, it was extremely difficult to fund those particular issues. And let me provide a little comparison to you. We looked at some of the tax revenues of Birmingham, local revenues of Birmingham, also, which some of the demographics are so similar. And do you know that Birmingham is almost 30 million local tax? Did you know that Huntsville almost 30 million local tax? And Montgomery have more kids, more students than both of those school districts. But at the same time, both of those school districts were receiving almost triple the amount of local revenues as Montgomery. And what I want to say to our listeners, and say to everyone, is that our children, they deserve these same opportunities, these same supports that students in any other district deserve. And we have to make sure that we're supporting our students.
Let me just draw for you guys. Good morning. You're on the air with Mr. Watts and Miss Wilson. Good morning. He is the chief financial officer of Montgomery Public Schools, and she is the chief of staff. Mr. Watts.
Sure. I'll let Ms. Wilson address the instructional situation.
Sure. Right now, we have, I think that the report card was 40%. And so we know that they're great in reading on level. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. And so we have, there's a literacy act. And so if you go onto our website, you can check out all about the ARI, Alabama Reading Initiative. I would say that we have a lot of improvements to do. We have lots of things that we're working on in terms of what.
Well, let her finish. Yeah. Let her finish what she's trying to say, and I'll let you back in. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would say that we definitely have a lot of room for improvement. We let our students grow. We offer after-school tutoring. Our teachers are very much involved in supporting our students, those who are struggling readers, but also those who are advancing. Right now, as we look at our numbers, typically we have a graduation. We have approximately 80% of our students graduating from MPO.
So what do you specifically want to know? Okay. I will let her answer that, and appreciate your call. Is that information available?
That information is definitely available. You can check out our website for more information if you wanted to get more into the per grade level. I don't have right now the per grade level percentages, but I just provided you with our graduation rate of students who successfully complete 12th grade and high school.
Okay. Good morning, on air with Mr. Watts and Ms. Wilson. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not sure. I can speak to what happened 40 years ago. Of course, I am also a product of Montgomery Public Schools. I attended South Lawn Elementary, at the time Floyd Junior High School, and at the time JD, which is currently JAG. So I'm sure that there were some differences there, but we're working very, very hard to improve all of our areas.
Appreciate your call.
Well, I would say to you again that when we look at our funding comparable to other school districts that have many of the same demographics that we have, of course, we still are funded less. I'll give you an example. Even right now, even after the millage was passed in 2020, Montgomery receives about 28 or 29% of its revenues are local revenue. Right now, Birmingham's local revenue is around 45%. Huntsville's revenue is about 44%. And again, we have more students at those particular schools. I would also add, yes, we are looking at the situation of possibly consolidating and several other things. But at the same time, the overhead doesn't decrease in many of those schools. Only the ones that are closed, absolutely. But you still have to turn on the heat. You still have to furnish various items to our students. So so we are efficiently doing everything we could to make sure that we are not just throwing away money, and that's what we should do.
Let's take another call right quick. Good morning, you're on the air with Mr. Arthur Watts and Miss Wilson from the school board.
Good morning.
Well, I think, we want to stick to what we know, which is MPS, not public school, so I can't speak to a private school. But I will say definitely we want to focus on one of the funds that we have right now. We try to focus on preparing our students to be college ready and career ready. And so we have lots of different programs that we offer. And Mr. Watts talked about that 11 mil going towards a lot of those programs where our students do leave and are able to go either into the workforce and into college and not just go, but into
Good morning, you're on the air. Okay. Let them try to get their mind around that. Let them answer. I'll let Mr. Watts and Ms. Wilson answer those questions.
Well, I think a lot of what you're talking about is historical. So people, today in 2024, we are no longer in school improvement. And so we had the requirements of the state to take us out of school improvement. And so we are trying to continue to move forward and support our students now. And so, because it's, I guess that would be my answer to being in the school improvement.
And let me just add, as it relates to the employees. Right now, Montgomery Public Schools, as it relates to administrative staff, is less than 4%. Now, the state requirements that of what they suggest is no school district should have administration over 5%. We're under 4%. We're 3 point something percent currently. So much of the money is indeed going towards the school, going towards assisting our teachers and social workers and principals and ensuring that our instructional programming is adequate. So just want to make sure that that the listeners understand that from an administrative standpoint, that we are well below what the state recommends.
Let me see who's next. Good morning on there. Yeah. Mhm. I appreciate the call. Mr. Watts, I will ask you this question. It's a financial question. How do we change, and how do you guys change? How do we change the perception? Because I've always asked myself, why would somebody spend $15,000 a year to send their kids to some private school if we could be guaranteed the same results in our public schools? 'Cause, I mean, we got rich people, we got people well to do here, but everybody can use an additional $15,000 in the house. That's in the daytime. So how do we change that perception and get those people back into the school? Because I can't afford $15,000 a year to send Z to school. So isn't that half the problem? Is the perception?
I think you really need to discipline the public schools. We have a lot of success stories. We have our staff. We have very talented staff members that we want to keep and we want to continue to uplift. We have lots of improvement, and we know that improvement requires resources. We need to be able to support our students in all the ways that we can. We cannot do it alone. We need our community support. And so the first thing that we can do is really kind of try to come together and figure out how do we support our students as a community. We have implemented a fully planned, articulated reading and math program for K-12 that hasn't been done in the last decade. And so doing things like extracurriculars, providing coding opportunities, STEM opportunities. We are trying to expand enrollment, expand CTE. We need to do a better job of probably setting out the message so people know what we're doing here. But also, if you can support your local, whatever the department is supposed to do, ask to volunteer, ask what they need. That's the start in children's perception.
We're also just add one other thing. I think, education is a responsibility of the no doubt, as this person just said. But from a fiscal standpoint, I think we all need to take some responsibility as it relates to where we were and what we're trying to do now. As I stated, there had not been an approval of support of a tax meal increase in education for Montgomery over several decades, while all the other school districts, especially ones that are somewhat comparable to Montgomery, was continuing to support their students. It's extremely hard for us to provide the exposures that our students needed, the support that our students needed, without that fiscal support. And again, when we passed that 2020 millage, that was the first time there was any increase in public education in well over 30 years.
I want y'all to thank me right now. That's a wonderful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we really appreciate that, sir. And we appreciate all of your listeners for supporting us. So thank you.
Okay, let's go. Good morning on there with Mr. Watson and Ms. Wilson. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, in my heart, I do.
Both are tied to the hill. This particular tax is a county-wide tax which supports both Montgomery Public Schools and Pike Road schools. Of course, both superintendents of both Pike Road and Montgomery have talked about this. They want the entire Montgomery County unity to support this particular tax. That is correct.
Well, you know what? Yeah. Now I got to tell you something. I have been, Mr. Watts. I must tell you, when you got here, I was encouraged. Your pedigree, what you've done, and you put some policies in place where some of the things that happen. Every big organization got problems. I mean, somebody's stealing something. I mean, all the time. You just got to check it. But you're one of the few people down there that I got a lot of confidence in of you getting the job done. So I just got to tell you that. And I am going to school. Where my son goes to it. I don't have a problem. You don't have my issue was go back there. But I do appreciate now this is the first time I ever had this higher cane come down with me. Tell me what I said. But we'll be back right after this commercial break. Now, if you don't know this song, you're in America. Really? We all. Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Served with the Second Central Range Battalion, 82nd Airborne, and 82nd Airborne, 80 Dukes. All right. You don't send us some liver plates. We kind of tear stuff up. Right? Yeah. How your husband doing?
He's doing better.
Tell him I said hi.
I will. Thank you for asking.
Democrat, but I ain't gonna hold it against you.
We watching this.
I ain't gonna hold it against you. But I really am for public school. I would my son here. Yeah. I got a very tenure. He wants nothing to go and I said, oh. But really helped me on that. Really helped me on that. You can complain to your parents, and we're gonna be sympathetic. Really happy to be anything good happening there. Okay, that's one. But give me one more. But I did tell him, your attitude determines how you deal with it. I mean, you want to go in the Air Force, you think you're not going to have some of the same people in the Air Force. I mean, I'm just saying, when you're an only child, you used to have everything your way. You ain't got to share nothing with nobody. But I'm gonna tell you something. You're all GT guy over there. Nice guy. Some extra name. I said, how you gonna have my name? He said, we don't have to. I said, you not going for it? I went down into the place and ordered something. Only $2. Too much. Just call me. I said, you got anybody else need anything? I'm right on too. That's from the school district would have included. You would think? Yes. You talking about organization is messed up on paper sometimes it's the military. But we know our mission and we suck at each other. Boots on the ground.
Right. That's usually when everybody come together.
Okay, so now what did people said about me before y'all got here? Y'all see it ain't totally true. Okay, because I know what they say about me.
Oh.
I know. I don't bother me.
Is there another outfit? Maybe we'll find out.
Oh, but you gotta turn. We ain't gonna have about 15 minutes for that.
Okay, no, it's fine. I'll just present and do about it.
You can say. And another fight. Things ain't right.
I'm Carolyn Dobbs.
You proud too, don't you?
I used to sing for a living.
Oh yeah. All right.
But everybody wants to be a star and somebody don't make it. I was that guy. You got to get a job. In fact, I sung in the Army. It was called Tops and Blues. I live in Hawaii.
How long were you stationed in Hawaii?
5 years.
Oh, wow.
And it ain't what everybody thinks it is.
You know, Mama got out before she got with some positions in Hawaii. So my mom
Now I would go.
she was a single parent.
Yeah, they paid.
Had 3 kids.
Yeah.
She had 3 kids, and she was kids in Hawaii.
The problem is
We were at Fort Hood.
if we wanted her to have kids, so,
How many years did you serve in all?
13. Oh, okay.
Well, thank you for your service.
I appreciate that. I need a good job. I need a good job. I didn't do it.
But I appreciate the
I
service.
appreciate you. It was either jail or army. That's an easy decision to make. And welcome back, everybody. Okay, now when you guys call me, Mr. Arthur Watson, he is the Chief Financial Officer. I will say, for all I see, Output things does a pretty good job down there. He's accountable. He's not that many of them that was being, shall we say, lifted. But anyway, he's here, and our next guest is Ms. Wilson. She is here. She is the Chief of Staff. So she was in a line of success in authority. You like check? Yeah. Okay, so I don't have to talk to Melvin. I can call and talk to you. Okay. Put me on hold. I'm a perpetual complaint. Good morning, young mayor. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Yes, sir. That is correct. Of course, the millage was passed in 2020, but the way that particular amendment was written was that Montgomery Public Schools could not start collecting those funds until fiscal year 2024, in which we started receiving those funds October of 2023. That hurt us a lot. If we would have been able to collect those funds as soon as the millage was passed, we would have been able to do over $400 million worth of construction of repairing and building schools. We already know that we are indeed constructing a new, previously Lee High School. We are constructing a new the Heights, and we are doing major renovations at a number of our schools. And I would say to you that many of our buildings were really, really dilapidated and really had not had the care that they truly needed. But because there was a delay in our collecting those tax revenues, of course, we know COVID hit, and the cost of construction just blew out of the roof. In fact, we had a $400 million capital plan, and that was reduced to about 250 to $260 million. So that cost us over $140 million. So just imagine all of the renovations that we are planning, all of the things we plan on doing for our school district, we will not be able to do that. Also, let me just make one other point. We know what interest rates have done over the last 2 or 3 years as well. When that tax was first passed, we would have been able to finance bonds at about 2% or no more than 2.3, 2.4%. I'll ask you now, we're going to try to borrow some money to build a house and see how much the interest rate is going to be. You're looking at 6 to 7% interest rate. That makes a lot of difference. So not only the cost of construction, but the cost of borrowing has gone up so drastically that that has really, really hurt us. And again, you stated that Pike Road did pass a tax the next year, and they started collecting their money immediately. And the way that thing was written, it did allow them to do that. But of course, MPS had to be delayed for over 3 years, and of course, it cost us heavily by that delay.
Yeah. Good morning on there. Yeah.
Well, I did not answer that question. I will say that if we do receive these funds, I don't think that our district is not just going out asking the public for money just to ask the public for money. There are a number of needs and supports that we must provide for our students. And as I stated, we had gone numerous decades. Sure. Yep. Most tax renewals or even new taxes are usually anywhere between 20 to 40 years. So, well, this one that's on the ballot now is for 30 years.
Well, I'll be 96 then, so I ain't gonna worry about that 30-year thing. So I probably won't be here. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, let me just say, we certainly appreciate your service. Um, Again, the amount of this tax will not cost 1 penny. This is a tax renewal. It is not a new tax. So the same thing one's tax bill was last year will be the same this year. So it's not a new tax. And I want to make sure all the listeners understand that this is a renewal. Those renewals come up every 20 years or every 30 years. So let's make sure that we have that.
Good morning on there, Mr. Watson, Ms. Wilson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, that's a good thing. Vocational school. When are they coming back?
And we do have a vocational school.
Impact.
Impact. That's
Yeah,
correct.
my son goes there.
We are continually looking at ways, and of course, Mr. Watts is very helpful in helping us find monies to expand our CTE program. So not just the impact, but we're looking to support students in all of our high schools. So if you don't get a chance to run a CTE program at impact, then we have different opportunities and pathways in all of our high schools.
And let me just add, and Pancho, thank you for calling in. I just want to say that in the ad valorem tax that was passed in 2020, one of the initiatives that we spoke about and that we approved was to increase the number of CTE or career technical opportunities in all of our traditional schools as well as Impact and some of the other schools. So we are increasing those vocational classes in all of our high schools and middle schools, along with foreign language and along with art and music teachers and several other offerings.
Somebody sent me a text, Mr. Watson, asked him what he means in overage in the ET fund that allows to go to prison. What is overage?
Well, the legislation has projected, they do a projection every year about the amount of revenues that will come in. Well, the amount of revenue that came in was more than, I probably should have said more than instead of over. The amount of revenue that came in was more than what was earlier projected. And so there were recommendations to use some of those dollars towards other areas outside of public education. And I think it's important, and I will go ahead and say it. I think every dollar that is earmarked for education should be expended on public education. Right, and I'm hoping all of our state legislators should do. It is important that for every dollar that is earmarked for public education is expended for public education students. I will be there. I spoke to the legislature.
Somebody made a call.
I did address the legislature last year, and I intend to do so again.
And this is the first time I've ever heard. We always get on people from education. That's what hypocrisy. Good morning in there. Okay, you know what? One call. Good morning. Mr. H. I agree with that. I'm going to use that anymore. Good. That's good. Okay. So a fool, let me get right. A fool can ask more questions than a wise man can. Well, I love that. We must have been born in the same. You and I must belong to the same intellectual man. Yeah. 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 That's true. Listen, my only problem with the whole this age, my only problem with the whole magnet program, I think that we all have that kind of attitude about all of us. That's the standard. That's just me. I think if you uplift them 1 inch, that's better than where they are now sometimes. But I'm a pro. I do promote. I do. I do. Right. I don't have a whole lot of time left. But Mr. Watts, now y'all coming up here today is actually sort of kind of. Well, thank you. Now that is that because it's not a new tax. In other words, the car's already running.
That's correct.
We ain't got to go out there and start it again. The car's already running. So, so I'm not going to fight all of it. Because my son goes to public school, then anything that would better enhance it, me and you, Miss Wilson, I have something. Other than that, wood is good. That's what I'm looking. Anyway, Mr. I thank you for coming. Y'all spent time out today coming over and visiting us, and I think it was very educational. And we learned something. We learned that the school, the money that the legislature takes up for school, don't necessarily go to school. We learned that. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, and little petty P on the way out here. Thank you so much. Oh, we the
Thank you, sir.
All right, so you go back and tell them all that crap they were talking. I know they was talking about me. I ain't mad at it. That's what you say. You tell me, y'all did change your mind about nothing. Thank you. These guys,